Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Yetunde. This is the Yummy Mommy YouTube channel. You're welcome to another episode of Yummy Mommy Cow Sessions. In the last episode, which was our first episode, we started talking about sex education for children. The who, the how, and the what. In the last episode, we helped establish who should do sex education for children, or who should start first sex education for children, how to start, and what should be taught depending on the age of each child. So last episode we talked about what should be taught to 2 to 4 year olds, and in today's episode, which is the episode 2, we want to look at what should be taught to and how it should be taught to children from 5-year-old and above. So you're welcome again. Come with me on this jolly ride. Now, before we dive into today's topic of discussion, I would like to digress a bit. It's not really a digress, it's still part of the topic, but I would like to look at the why. Why should we encourage sex education for children? So for us to understand why, let me help us understand, or let me help us put into perspective two things: the myths about sex education and the facts. Now, one of the myths about sex education is that when you teach children sex education, you are spiking their curiosity and you are teaching them to be wayward. That's a myth, it's not a fact. So what is the fact? The fact is that the sex education is just like any other form of education. It gives knowledge, and as the saying goes, knowledge is power. So when you have sexually educated a child, you are giving that child the power to make informed decisions about their bodies, informed decisions about what they are allowed to be done to their bodies. Facts have shown that children that have been taught sex education are less likely to have casual sex, because they know the consequences. They have been taught the consequences. They have been taught to honor their bodies. So teaching children sex education is a way of you teaching them to honor their bodies. So once they have learned to honor their bodies, they are less likely to have casual sex. They are less likely to even involve in some other forms of risky behaviors. And another reason or another fact is that children that have been sexually educated are less likely to be abused. Why? Because in your teaching them about sex, you have taught them what should not be done to their bodies. You have taught them how to recognize manipulative behaviors. All right, you have taught them how to question motives, because teaching children about sex helps to develop their thinking or critical thinking capabilities, and that way they are able to look at people's actions and weigh it with people's words, and be able to critically analyze people's actions towards them. So they are able to grasp, or they are able to know when someone is grooming them. You understand? So these are some of the reasons why sex education should be encouraged. These are some of the reasons why we are even advocating for teaching children about sex as early as possible. Let's dive right in to talking about ages 5 and above. From age 5 to age 8, we should begin to teach them body boundaries. From age 5, I believe we should have started teaching them to clean up themselves after using the toilet, right? So they should by now begin to know body boundaries. They should know that they should knock before they enter the rooms. Then when they're in the toilets, they should know that they should lock the door. They should know that anybody who is coming in should knock before they come in, right? They should know that they should not come. A 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old should know that they should not come outside naked. If they need to come out of the bedroom, they should have their towels, right? They should clean up. By that age, they should also know that boys should not dress up in front of girls. Girls should not dress up in front of boys. So body boundaries. They're already understanding that their bodies, there should be a boundary around their bodies or around who is touching their bodies. Of course, from age 2 to 4, you have already established who are the safe people. Now, from age 5 to 8, they are already getting to the age of where they are independent on their own. So I believe that a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old should be able to clean up by themselves with wipes when they use the toilet. We use wipes in my house because, of course, the tissue papers they produce these days are no longer as quality as they used to be. So we use wipes. So my 6-year-old daughter is able to wipe herself when she uses the toilet. She's able to bathe for herself, even though I still monitor her. All right, so if your 6-year-old is not able to do all of these things, please, this is not to make you feel bad. This is just to encourage you that, okay, you should start teaching them how to do these things. All right. My daughter didn't also start doing this overnight. We had to teach her. It took a process. So she's able to do it at least to a certain level of where I'm comfortable with at this point, right? So by this age, they should be able to clean up by themselves. They should understand body boundaries. At this age, people should not be cleaning up for them anymore. People should not be touching them anymore. So at this age also, we should be teaching them right touch, wrong touch. They should know by this age, even from age 2, they should know that nobody should be kissing them on the lips. They should know that hugs shouldn't extend for too long. We should also be teaching them permission, right? Permission before you touch. Before you hug somebody, you should be asking for permission. Oh, can I get a hug? They should know that before somebody hugs them, the person should also be asking them for permission. Oh, can I get a hug? That's body boundary. They should know that they shouldn't hug strangers. All right? And at this age, we, even as parents, we shouldn't be forcing our children to hug anybody. If our child doesn't want to hug anybody, it's okay. Yes, they should greet. They should greet. We should teach them to be polite. But if they don't want to hug anybody at this age, we shouldn't be forcing them to hug anybody. They should know all of this. They should know that they have a choice. By age 5 to 8, they should know that they have a choice in who can touch them. If your child, your boy, your girl is not comfortable with somebody touching them, whether even holding their hand, even the safe touches, if your child is not comfortable with their hand being held by anybody at this age, they should not be forced. So age 5 to 8, they should already know body boundaries. They should already know permission. People should ask for permission before touching them in any way. All right, from age 5 upwards as well, we should already be teaching them how to question people's intentions. All right, most often the people who abuse children are usually people who are close to the family, people who we trust, people who the parents trust. So let's say there is Uncle X that comes to the house, or Auntie X that comes to the house, and whenever she comes, she's always buying things for only one sibling. She doesn't buy for the other sibling. She's always making statement, or he's always making statement like XYZ is stubborn. That's why I'm not buying things for them. You understand? Your child should be able to question people. When Uncle X says, come into the room, I want to show you something, he or she should be intelligent enough from age 5 to be able to say, no, why are you asking me to come into the room? If you want to tell me something, tell me here where everybody is. Right, so we should begin to, and how do they develop questioning? It's by the way we interact with them. When you interact with your children, when they ask questions, don't shut them up. Even if the question sounds silly or sounds stupid, don't shut them up. Engage them in conversation. Help them to put things into perspective, because of course they are intelligent. They will ask questions. So once they are used to their questions being answered, they will be able to do it with strangers too. They will be able to question people's intentions. All right, and as always, make sure that your home is a safe place, that your children can be able to ask you questions, they are able to tell you things. Or even if they ask you a question that you don't have an answer for at the moment, you can always say, oh, mommy doesn't have an answer at this time, or daddy doesn't have an answer to this question, but can I think about it? I'll answer you later, instead of shutting them up. So that helps them to be comfortable with you. That helps them to be comfortable around you, to be able to ask you questions. All right. Also, another thing we need to know for children, irrespective of their age, do not force your children to stay with anybody that they have expressed concern to you about. Say your child tells you, or maybe you need to go somewhere and you say, oh, Uncle X or Auntie X is coming to stay with you, or Grandma X is coming to stay with you. And the child says, oh, mommy, I don't like Grandma X, or I don't like Uncle X staying with us. Don't sweep it under the carpet. You need to ask them questions. Maybe not at the moment. You need to gradually try to investigate why they do not like whoever they have told you that they do not like. Or maybe you need them to go on holiday to someone's house and they tell you, oh, I don't like going to Auntie so-so-so's house. Why don't we go to this other person's house? You need to ask questions. The person that they don't want to go to his or her house, ask questions. The one that they even always love to go to his or her house, also ask questions. Ask them questions. Ask their siblings questions. Observe their interaction with all of these people, the people that they don't like and the people that they like way too much. It's not only the people that they don't like that are suspects. The people that they like way too much too can be suspects, right? So learn to question people's intention. Learn to look at, not in a judgmental way, not in an irrational way, but in a subtle, intelligent way. So the most important thing is have an open door policy with your children. Let them know that they can ask you questions, they can tell you anything. You yourself ask them questions when they go visiting. Oh, what happened? Did you enjoy staying there? What did you do? Which kind of play did you guys play? What did you watch when you were there? Who gave you what? Ask all those kind of questions. And that will help you to be able to know when something is happening that should not be happening, right? Aside from teaching your children, you too need to put on your investigative cap, right? Now, from age 10 upwards or 11 upwards, we need to start teaching about emotions, about feelings, because at this age, even younger, even from 8 years old now, you hear 8-year-old saying, oh, there's this boy in my class that I like, or there's this girl in my class that I like. So from age 10 upwards, you need to start talking about feelings. You need to start helping them understand emotions, because most times it's emotions that children, or that even we human beings, we interpret as love, and if it's not properly managed, it could fast lead into sex, or fast lead into abuse, right? So you need to, at this age, you need to start talking to them about their emotions, how to manage their emotions, how to interpret whatever it is they are feeling for whoever. It could be the opposite sex, it could be, by this time, helping them to understand how to channel their emotions to the right way, right? And then from teenagehood, from 13 upwards, some of them are already even in relationships. So you need to begin to talk to them about dating. You need to communicate your family values when it comes to dating, when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex. You need to begin to communicate your values to them at that age. Now, from 13 upwards, you are now dialoguing. It's no more instruction. It's no more this is it and this is what you must follow. That's why it's important that you start early. Because imagine a child that you have never spoken to about sex, you have never taught them anything about their bodies, then at 13 you are coming to come and tell them that you don't talk to a boy, which girl spoke to you in school today, what were you saying? You are already wrong. They won't even open up to you. They'll just be looking at you like, don't be surprised that even at that age they already know way more than you know. I recall that I've always heard the word bestiality. I've never really given it a thought. I think the first time I saw the word bestiality was in the Bible. I didn't really give it a thought. I've seen it several times, but the first time I knew the meaning of the word. It was my 13-year-old nephew that told me the meaning of the word. So they came to my house for the holidays, so we were just gisting. So I started talking to them about the appropriate use of sex and all of that. And I asked them, what do you think? Can you mention to me some of the things you think are the wrong use of sex? And one of them told me bestiality. And I said, wait, what's bestiality? And he said, sleeping with animals. I was shook. Like, that was my first time of knowing the meaning of that word. Now imagine that my 13-year-old knew that word and knew the meaning, and me, an adult, I knew the word, but I've never thought about the meaning. Now imagine so many other things that he would know that I would not know. So you need to have conversations with your children. You need to put a structure to it. It's not just, and then sex education is an ongoing form of education. It's not just today you tell them and then for the next 2 months you guys may not talk about sex education again. No. At least in my own house, what we practice is at least once a week we have days as part of our bedtime activities where we talk about our bodies. All right, we have books that help us. We have Instagram pages of professionals like the Raising Girls NG that I mentioned before that we follow. They have a structure. My daughter even belongs to a girls squad organized by the Raising Girls NG, and they have structured trainings for each age range. All right, and then we take from what they teach them and that's what we build on to educate her about our body and all of that. So it's something you need to invest in. Sex education is something as parents, father, mother, it's not just mother, father and mother, that we need to invest in. We need to invest our time, we need to invest money into gathering the information that is appropriate for our children. Because the truth is, whether you teach your children about these things or you don't teach them, they would know about it. So the best thing to do, or the best bet for you, is for you to take charge on time. Be able to start early and control what they are exposed to. Control what they watch. Ask them questions, because even if you do not give your children smartphones, there are children that come to school with smartphones and they will talk about these things and your children will hear it. All right, so it's the best thing for you to do as a parent is to be in control and start as early as you can. All right, so this is where we come to the end of this discussion for today. Thank you so much for joining me to the end of this video. Kindly drop your questions and your comments in the comment section. I would like to hear from you. Till I come your way in another episode, it's bye for now.